Hello ladies and gents to No Drama Just Movies Rapid Reviews. Trying out a bit of a different format here, so let me know what you think. But hey, why should Linda be the only one who gets to show off that chiseled mug? So, I watched Send Help recently, and I had some thoughts. Major spoilers coming up as well, so if you haven't watched this movie yet, go watch it and make sure you come back afterwards. Right off the bat, this was much funnier than I had expected it to be. I thought from the trailer that this would have a little bit of humour, but would mostly be like a gory survival thriller. I did not expect to laugh out loud a couple of times. I love the little montage of just Dylan O'Brien's face, coming back to it every different stages, to see Bradley deteriorating. Or Linda killing a boar, the gushing of blood, the violence so over the top that it becomes ridiculous. I think those are perfect examples of the kind of humour in this movie. Rachel McAdams and Dylan O'Brien did an awesome job leading us through the movie. I loved O'Brien's stupid little cackle. It made him so obnoxious that I wanted him to suffer. He embodies this entitled CEO without a care in his life, who got the job because Daddy died. But he also managed to still hold on to shreds of sympathy for me. And there were a few moments, like the octopus scene, I'll get to that, where I was a little more worried for him. And that, I think, is a testament not just to the acting, but also to the writing and directing. And can I just mention his hilarious delivery of Linda when he reads her name on the mug she made? Rachel McAdams starts off as a perfect wallflower, unable to stand up for herself while getting tread on by her co-workers. She sells the journey to Linda approaching psychopath level. I loved her childlike enjoyment when she builds a shelter or starts a fire. You can see that she's treating this like a game. She finally gets to do her survival show, and she's good at it. So why shouldn't she have a blast and want to stay on the island? I commend the script for playing so close on each side of the moral grey line, hopping across with delightful grace. I was firmly on Linda's side as first. She's the overlooked office drone who can suddenly show off her real-world skills, while the rich but talentless CEO becomes completely useless. I'm sure I'm not the only one who enjoyed that dynamic shift. And yes, I was rooting for her. But her manipulation lies in endangerment of another human being, even one with such a punchable laugh, simply to play out a fantasy. It's hard to condone that. And when it gets to the ending, I was honestly torn about whether this was a positive ending. I came around to Bradley's side with things like the paralysing scene or Linda dealing with Brad's fiancé in a scene that reminded me of Walter White letting Jesse's girlfriend overdose in Breaking Bad. Personally, I love endings like that, because, especially right now, it might feel more realistic that terrible people who do terrible things on remote islands are getting away with things. The shifting power dynamics make this an engaging ride. Bradley being reluctant to accept his vulnerability and accepting help from the underling, then realising that he needs her to survive. The only part of the relationship I didn't like was the bonding over the toilet wine. That's where the film sagged for me, if only briefly. I was scared it would lead to the standard romantic plot of the two falling in love and solving their problems together, and maybe some bigger antagonist coming along to replace their animosity. Luckily, it didn't come to that. I loved the gore. The blood, the eye gouging, the vomit. It's going back to a pre-Marvel Raimi that I'm sure fans of his earlier work will welcome with open arms. The violence was deliciously visceral. I mentioned the octopus scene before, where Linda paralyzes Brad to cut off his jangly bits. I felt that, and I dare any guy to watch this and not squirm. There was also a really nice horror moment with her fiancé on the beach. It had a bit of a Ring vibe. Unfortunately, it was undercut for me by a cheaper jump scare right after, and you all know how I feel about those. I kept wondering how it would end. There's another twist towards the end, which I honestly didn't see coming. When she mentions the place beyond the X with all the dangerous plants, I thought we'd maybe see Brad chasing Linda through there and Linda cleverly leading him into a trap that makes him scratch his skin off or something. Wasn't expecting what we actually got, but it does make sense if you think about the knife for a second longer than I did. Gullible fool that I am. Overall, this was an entertaining movie with two terrific leads. It's just the right level of violence and not without a sense of humour. And yes, I enjoyed the office worker revenge fantasy of it all, as well as the 50 Shades of Grey in the morality department. Definitely a film for fans of earlier, more darker Raimi. And that's all. Roll credits.